He's gonna be your easiest child when
He was my first, he would have been my last. That's what I was.
your last now.
I mean, I'm 52, so hopefully.
He's gonna be your easiest child. I mean, you don't look at it, but I know that.
Yeah, I had him at 50, I had him at 51 when I had him. I just turned 51.
Yeah, 52,
I know a
so.
couple that's in their sixties, and they have a 3-year-old. And they're trying to.
I don't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't trying to break any records.
My son is 50 and he has a 5-year-old.
I mean, there, yeah.
I said,
Men
Andy,
are
what are you
different, though.
doing? Besides, he has
Better than that.
5 other.
All right. Do we have enough people?
I think this is our quorum.
Okay. Well,
Peggy's double checking the audio, if we could just wait one more minute.
okay.
Of course. Who wants to run it with John out? Do we remember if there's a vice chair?
I can do it. I don't, got it, okay.
I don't care.
I feel like Grace
I-
might be the longest serving
Yeah.
of the group today.
Okay, let me get. Yeah. No, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah.
I was a middle school principal for 10 years. This will be easy.
Good.
I'm not jealous of that job.
We're good, if you want to call the meeting to order.
Like I need a sheet. Oh, here, I need this first.
Do you have another spare one?
Oh, there, right there.
Then go and get an agenda.
I didn't get an agenda, so let me start with that.
That's what you have, I just haven't. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, this is the agenda. Okay. Go to say call.
Order.
I'm gonna call to order the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board on September 16th. Or at 2025 at 2:04 PM. First is the citizen comments and reports. Nothing? Okay, then the next is Department Director Report by Colin Simpson.
Yeah. So, the city just finished up their budgeting, process for our next fiscal year. It starts October 1st. And so I included 2 different finance kind of lists for you. One is the status of our fiscal year 25 projects that we had budgeted. I think everything on the list is either waiting until next year or complete. The only thing left that's going on is there's shade at the Roberts Point Park playground going up over the stone benches. There's going to be wooden pergolas, kind of modern style cantilever shade that's being constructed as we speak. And we are waiting on the arrival of a pump track. So I was able to squeeze that one in the nick of time. It'll arrive before September 30th. I think it arrives on the 26th. But it's like a blue plastic molded oval that has like hills and banks. And so kids can ride bikes or scooters or skate and kind of push themselves along. It's a family friendly difficulty level. So it's supposed to be for the beginner skill sets. Kids on those Strider bikes could probably use it. And adults can use it too, but the intention is for younger family friendly feature out there. So I was glad that worked out. I was having trouble finding a vendor and then figured it out last minute. Everything else, I don't want to read the whole list for the sake of time, but I will skip to the next fiscal year. We're getting a new mower for the ball fields. And we have a park maintenance facility in the budget. So that is where the grounds crew would be centralized. Right now, they have a temporary facility on Cutoff Road and Avenue C that's actually serving them well. They lost their previous home because the police station parking expansion kind of encroached on their territory, and they shared a building with the gas department. So the gas department's getting a whole new facility for themselves next to the new police department. And then this facility would be, we're planning for it at the community park. Right now, out by the baseball fields, there's like a shanty town, I don't know what to call it, like Connex boxes, storage sheds, portable garages, fences, trailers, just a bunch of random things that have accumulated out there over the years. So that would all go away, and one nice clean garage bay, like 6-bay garage with a break room and an office space and some storage is the plan. Most likely, I think that will be choreographed around the rec center construction. So it may be coming as a change order to that project, or we don't have it totally figured out, but hope is when we have a nice new rec center, maintenance will get a nice facility as well. It'll be similar to the gas department's new building is what I'm picturing. The rec center work has started already. But it was budgeted out of fiscal year 25, the construction fund, with a tax anticipation note and some hotel motel tax and park development fees. There's a combination of funds being used for that. It's a $25 million facility, 32,000 square feet. The gymnasium, the multi-purpose rooms, the group exercise room, teen game room, administrative suite, walking track, adjacent to the pool, locker room facilities, family restroom changing rooms.
The upper walking track got approved.
It got
Good.
approved. Yes, it did. So I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Construction has already started. There's discussion on the anticipated completion date, fall of 2026. So Fulton Coast Con Construction is on it, and they are top of the line contractor, so I can't wait to see what to do. It's a mess out there right now, but they're just, you got to pay attention. The park is still open. They're just rerouting the driveways, and so you need to be careful as you're driving because it's changing every day. Just go real slow and pay attention to where you're at when you're out there.
Can we get maybe some like social media stuff about like how the pools up, parks open?
That it's all still open?
Yes, because I think people think I've had people text me if it's open.
Well, last week the pool
Pool
was
was clo- it was
closed
closed,
for
yeah.
maintenance, so that could have added to the confusion, but we can definitely, we do our Friday e-newsletter and social media.
That unless, notified it, everything remains open.
Yes, disc
Especially with the,
golf
yeah.
and basketball have been impacted.
Yes.
So basketball court actually went away because that's where they're going to pour the tilt walls for the gymnasium. So they're gonna fabricate the walls for the gym right there, and then it's gonna be cool.
What is that gonna be, that flattened area, parking lot?
It'll be driveway, rec center. The rec center is like between the pool and the road, and then the gym is between Channel Vista and the pool, and then there's a driveway in there. So there's not much green space left. Pretty much the drainage ditch is what's left after construction as far as green space between Channel Vista and the rec center. Yeah, drainage ditch, driveway, gym.
What are the gym floor, is that,
It's a NCAA standard height with wood floor.
and will it have the things built into the floor for like
Standards,
volleyball
yes.
nets and
Yes.
pickleball nets?
It has the lines for pickleball. I'll have to go back and look if
There
our
are temporary nets.
I think that's what we went with so that we didn't have a bunch of disruptions in the wood,
Right.
Mhm.
but I would have to double check on that. I will.
Do you want any other questions about the rec center now or later?
Well, we might as well do it now.
Just, I've had a couple people, a total of 3. Which is not a lot, but some. And are we past the point of getting any kind of community feedback about what specific equipment and facilities would be inside there?
If it's changing the floor plan, we are past that point.
No,
If
it's
it's like,
more-
I want a treadmill, want a stair climber, yeah, you can do that.
I guess it's, yeah, people were, they just are curious about what kind of weight room, exercise, equipment, facility is actually gonna be put in.
We do
Because
have,
it's like, we're gonna like, if we're having a $25 million project, they were just hoping that it would be something that's.
well, is,
You know what I'm
did they
saying?
give specific
They
things
just-
that they're looking for?
They wanted the full, the feedback that from again, it's a total of 3 people, so I can't really say that it's the cross section.
Well, if you tell me what they want, I can tell you whether it's currently kind of in there.
Okay, it's, so obviously just the gym, the weight machines, but there's also like squat racks and free weights, if that is included in the floor plan.
Yes, and I can send you, so we have, it's not set in stone, but we do have a rendering of the equipment
Okay,
from a equipment provider.
okay.
And so I can show you kind of what their recommendation was. We did do a little bit of back and forth, like there was some very trendy pieces that I was like, I don't think we need that. But
That's what I think people were saying, like stay away from the trend, like people will always use
yeah.
free weights and squat racks and like the basic.
So the other thing I did
machines.
was I went to all of the personal trainers that I knew in Port A.
Mhm.
So Nancy Myers, Meredith's mom, Rhonda, yeah, and Anastasia, and I sent them kind
Okay.
of the equipment layouts for feedback. And so I'm happy to share
Okay.
it with anybody, but it has been kind of vetted as
That's
a
good.
good, solid, something for everybody. So I think it's a good, but sorry, like I said, I'm sleep deprived, but I think what we can do is share it out and see what kind of feedback we get. One of the things I've been thinking about, not necessarily related to the budget here, but is more engagement in our meetings. And so folks encourage them to come, like these aren't supposed to be
encouraged all 3.
secret little, powwows. This is for the community.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we're
I
meeting.
encouraged
So
all 3 to make, if they had.
yeah, and they can always
Just-
email me. They can always come by the parks office. They can leave a note with at the pool or anywhere. Like we are always accessible. We do want to know what the community needs
Yeah.
are. So there was a little bit of scuttlebutt about like a schedule having already been set, and people were upset that it wasn't going to be open late. And I was like, I don't even know what the hours are. How are these people upset about this?
There was
So
the other
word
questions
just spreads fast. Like they'll get a nugget of something they think is
Super-
true, and then it's like
They were
know,
just
all
curious on
for-
how memberships will be run and hours.
we're still figuring that
And-
out.
And I said,
Yeah.
I think that's still being figured out, so.
Yeah,
just-
I did mock up hours and fees so that council could decide like, okay, we want a 12% cost recovery on this. We want
Yeah,
to subsidize the whole thing. We want 50% cost recovery, whatever. So that's like next fiscal year, once the building is close to completion, they're gonna need to decide, what do we want for fees? Do we want a different fee for non-residents than residents? Do we want, drop-in fees, family passes, like the whole suite of things? It's all gonna have to get hashed out
yeah.
next budget year, but this year they're just building it. So we got a little bit of time before all that stuff has to be sorted out.
I had a lot of parents wanting to make sure that there's gonna be like classes for kids, dance classes, gymnastics, all that kind of.
I mean, that would be our intention. Historically, where Parks and Rec has struggled to host classes is finding the right instructors. We've had instructors from Corpus come out with dance, gymnastics, karate, and if they flake, we're out of luck. And so that's historically happened a few times, but I am open to bringing in anything
But maybe
anybody
with any
wants.
facility that is designated for such classes. that
Yeah,
have
and
a
maybe we
specific-
train up somebody local and we
Yeah.
say, okay, we know this person is gonna be here. We're gonna send them to this, youth dance training
Yeah.
or something like that, so that we're housing that talent and encouraging the growth of that type of thing in-house. Okay.
Okay.
So Being fun. The restrooms at Old Town Square, that's happening and underway. Framing should start happening for that this coming week. The foundations have been poured, but the project will carry over to next fiscal year, so it was rebudgeted. That's why it's on this list. It's in addition to a renovation of the community center, so that's all happening at one time. Nature Preserve is getting a miniature golf cart that's better for riding on the boardwalks and the trails. It's to get them out to the more remote locations without having to push other people off of the trail. It's very tight out there when you're trying to use a vehicle to bring supplies or whatever you need. So this little grasshopper golf cart is as small as they come. Invasive species removal, Brazilian pepper tree, white lead tree, guinea grass. It's to be done by a contractor. We acquired the land behind the Family Center grocery store, and it is continuously just collecting plastic bags. The debris from the parking area of the grocery store just blows right into there. And so they want to put up a fence to try and catch some of the debris before it goes out into the middle of the wetlands, because it's easier to clean up a fence line than to trek through high grass and soggy ground. And then there is money in the budget for planning that property as well, looking at stormwater improvements, nature accessibility. Some of it could be for, future city needs, but creating a master plan for that parcel of land will happen next year as well. A fence for Paradise Pond is in the budget. We just redid the driveway. If you've been by Juan's, you might notice there's a difference now in how that looks. There's a ribbon curb that's still going to go in before the end of this fiscal year, and then we're going to fence it because traditionally the driveway to Paradise Pond gets totally blocked with the drive-through traffic, and so we'd like to reroute their drive-through traffic. They have double driveways, and so really traffic should be going in their one driveway and looping around, and just out of convenience, folks cut across Paradise Pond and park up and down that driveway, and then it blocks access to our site. So we're gonna add a fence to try and direct people the correct way. It's probably gonna ruffle a few feathers, but that'll be good in the long run. The beach, they had 30 guards this year, 4 full-time guards and a manager. So they were really well staffed, great retention, great performance over the summer. So their goal is 40 guards next year, and they need some extra vehicles to move those people around. So 2 UTVs, 2 new towers. So they'll be every 3 mile markers all the way to 12, 15, and I think 17 is the last one. But basically every section of the bollarded area, every 3 mile markers will have a lifeguard tower next season. 2 more vehicles. Surf rescue facility is still in the plans. They got pushed back a little bit in the schedule because the fire station EMS facilities need that ground for staging to build their facilities. And so until they're complete enough to not use that land, surf rescue can't start. Those full-time positions were not funded. The city council did not fund 6 and 7. I don't know why I left them on the list, but those shouldn't be there. I think they just did a lot of growing in one season, and so council wasn't ready to, well, and our budget wasn't ready to sustain 3 more full-time positions. For grants, we have the Restore Fishing Pier grant for enhancements. It's trash cans, benches, landscaping, and a restroom at Charlie's Pasture Fishing Pier. That's coming down the line.
Will that be like the one that's down at Charlie's Pasture now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There's a chance we could tie it into sewer, but there isn't sewer in that location currently, and it's pretty expensive to tie it in. So I'm gonna get numbers on both, but probably not. It'll probably be a vault toilet.
The city does a good job.
Yeah, and it's a real breezy area, so it doesn't get super gross. Yeah. Well, and our grounds crew do a good job of cleaning it.
Yeah.
And then we got a local parks grant from Texas Parks and Wildlife. We're using the AEP money that we had to fix the sidewalks at Roberts Point Park. Nope, at Community
Very good.
Park. So we are gonna widen a narrow section of Nature Preserve Trail. We're gonna fix the trail around the baseball fields, and then we're gonna add a trail kind of by the, where the community park trail goes to Paradise Pond behind Channel Vista.
Mhm,
It's gonna go from that corner where it loops into the Lighthouse Cove subdivision
mhm.
to the Charlie's Pasture Fishing Pier. So
So
it'll,
behind it.
Mhm. Yeah, it'll,
Oh, that'd be good.
yeah, basically you'll be able to go from the park to the fishing pier directly
That'll be awesome.
via that route.
We've
Channel
been-
Vista, Lighthouse Cove, all those communities will get to go
I
that
know
way
that we need the rain and all, but it's been really nice. We've been hanging out a lot, doing stuff back there
without mosquitoes.
without mosquitoes.
That is one of the pros of,
But it's, I mean, it's
Extreme
been really,
drought.
like, I mean, yeah, the girls have been going out there a lot.
good. And then holiday decorations, we have our plan for this coming December. We're refurbishing all the telephone pole decorations, those sea creatures. After they're out there for 3 seasons,
Sure.
they get corroded and they need some TLC. So we're refurbishing. We're adding the police station to our decoration list. We're adding Old Town Square to our decorating list. We added to our big tree at Roberts Point Park. I just went through that estimate today. But, oh, and then all the palm trees at the Turtle Cove Playground
Oh,
will be
wow.
lit too. So that's all in there.
That'll look pretty.
Yeah, that should be fun. We do colored lights at Roberts Point Park and white lights at Old Town Square. So it's
Okay.
like vintage Hallmark versus like
So
Fun
this-
Island,
Okay, so you're doing white lights at,
Community Center, Old
Community
Town
Center?
Square.
okay, I'll tell. Maybe we can like tie it.
I would love it if there's communities where the whole Main Street coordinates their
Well,
decor. It would be so
has-
great to
Has the
work
city
on
ever
that.
thought about like?
I've thought about it. I don't, as
feel
a
like there
city
should be-
employee.
I feel like there should be some kind of, encouragement to businesses.
Yeah, I've
So I
never
feel like
talked with the chamber about it, but it might be something they
it should
could
be- Yeah,
spearhead.
let's make it. down.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the chamber is doing their sand sculpture, Sand Santa again. It's going to be in the barbecue pit area of the large pavilion. So that's where
Okay.
Santa in the park
That's
will
where it's gonna
be.
be,
Mhm. Yep.
and everything will be there. Okay,
Mhm.
so there really won't be anything except for like just normal decorations at the community center in Old Town.
Old Town Square has a movie planned. Is the winter plan in here? Right? So
Winter
later
plan.
on in
But
the,
there's not like a Christmas tree or anything like that
there will be 2 Christmas
Just
trees
trees.
in the pavilion.
in the big pit.
Mhm.
At Roberts Point.
Old Town
Matt,
Square
okay.
Pavilion will have 2
Oh,
Christmas
they both
trees.
have, okay, cool.
Yeah, 12 foot, 10 footers, whatever will fit in there.
Okay.
The tallest you could get without hitting the ceiling.
The art sculpture gonna be done.
What we're waiting on is for the contractor at the community center to pour the footings. Gigi Miller's been working on the mosaics in her studio, and so she's gonna, once those footings are down, she's gonna bring them and install.
Is that a big deal to do, the footings?
Well, they've had some issues with the piers and scheduling concrete trucks and things like that, so it hasn't happened yet. Well, I will say the original plan for the community center, the ADA ramp, was sticking out into the main walkway about a third of the way. So like if you're walking from Old Town Square to the museum, there was an ADA ramp about a third of the way into the pathway. And I really didn't like that. And so we went through like 6 different versions of what that ramp could
look
look
like.
like. And so it was like gonna take up the grassy area where the sculptures were going, and then it wasn't. And then we're gonna add a sidewalk between where the landscaping is and that grassy area. There's just a ribbon curb right now, and we have to turn that into a walkway so that you can go from the park to the entrance of the ramp, and the ramp will be long enough to meet ADA standards. So all that is happening like right now, and then the foundations can go in. I know. That's always something. Okay. So then, okay, just going through the different department updates. We have playgrounds complete at Roberts Point Park. We're working on shade. So 2 of those shade structures were paid for from money from the Port of Corpus Christi, and then another a family wanted to honor their late mother, and so they donated some money so that we could get all 3 of them. So that's happening right now. In the high season, Grounds was coming in on the weekends to do trash runs because the traffic at the playground was just so high. And the marina could not keep up with it. The marina does staff regularly on weekends. We typically do not, but we did run through Labor Day with weekend trash runs, and now we're scaling that back again. If we feel like we need it, we can ramp it back up, but
Maybe just on busy. like,
yeah, if there's
holiday
special
weekend,
events or, yeah.
Like the long week in October
Mhm.
or some kind of.
Yeah, there's like Wooden Boat Festival, Trunk or Treat,
All that stuff.
um, market days, Day days, lots of stuff happening in October, a Harvest Moon Regatta. October's busy at that
Yeah.
location. The irrigation is still happening. We have the well at McDonald Field. So the guys truck water to Old Town Square and Roberts Point Park. This rain that we've gotten the last couple days has been really good for the vegetation because all those new palm trees really need help getting established, and trucking water is not the most effective way to keep things alive. But thanks to our grounds crew for doing that because it's the only thing that kept them alive. Hopefully we continue to see a little bit more rain.
Are they just going to move the trees at the community park or?
That was the plan. They're laying on the ground right now. I did email the general contractor to find out how long they're gonna lay there for because they're gonna be replacing them if they don't put them in the ground soon.
Okay.
Oh, this is old. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't save this correctly. But I told you the pump track's coming in. New swing set's been installed. That's old news. They did just remulch the playground out at Community Park, so it's nice and fluffy and safe to fall on again. The pool is conducting interviews for a full-time head guard, always looking for part-time guards. They closed down for a week so that they could put in UV filters, put in new handrails on the stairs, repair coping. They repaired the beach entry. They reinstalled the mushroom that is now an umbrella. They took down the old dilapidated shade structures and laid out new picnic tables with umbrellas. They repainted the floor of the locker room. They just kept themselves busy while they were shut down, and a ton of work was done. They're still, it's limping that building along until the rec center is in, but it's much improved from where they were 2 weeks ago. Skipping through the rest, I kind of talked about fishing piers already. So down to the nature preserve, the 33-acre paddling access park did receive funding from Texas Parks and Wildlife for design and engineering. So the development of that area will continue. There's conceptual renderings right now, but moving it to an actual engineered plan is what they'll help fund. And then when you get that funding, you are more likely to get construction funding the next round of grants. So that's a good setup for us to get more funding. Trails grant I talked to you about already. That's the widening and the new trail and around the baseball field trail. 50,000 for planning at the Family Center wetlands. Hopefully we can get a new name for that. We need to come up with something. If you haven't been to the birding center, you should go check it out. That empty lot next door is now a parking area with granite gravel islands, like xeriscaped. And then we added a flagstone boundary. There was a little bit of like intrusion photographers and birders were pretty much going into the habitat instead of watching from a distance. And so there's kind of a line drawn now, like birds over there, you stay over there. We'll see. Hopefully it's respected, but it looks sharp. I wanted something that was like that would blend in and look natural, but also be a clear delineation. So I think we accomplished that.
They
Uh,
did that last week, didn't they?
yeah, yeah. A bunch of these projects squeak in right before the end of the fiscal year. The restore grant for the nature preserve was completed, so the Clays Hill Trail is now cement. What else did they do? They did, oh, this was cool. The Birding Center Trail now officially connects to the southern Charlie's Pasture Trail. There was a low point that was kind of a maintenance road that was never finished, and we finished that last little jog of trail, and I got kind of misty about it because when I first moved here, I went on the Christmas bird count with Andrew Orgel and from the Ark and Tony Amos. And we like crawled and snuck through that area and eventually ended up at the transfer station. And then Tony was like, you got to be really sneaky here because they don't want us back here. But it was like this unofficial route that birders would take to count birds for the Christmas bird count. And it just was like a special memory. And so I felt like I did it, Tony. I made an official trail where we were, bushwhacking 10 years ago.
Pretty cool.
So it was special. Looks like the park hosts that we had last year will be returning mid-October. They were phenomenal last year, so very much looking forward to having them back. They walk the trails, educate people on the rules, turn in people that are just don't care and are breaking the rules. They're just good people to have out there, help kind of double our staff pretty much. Brazilian pepper tree removal. Still working on the land lost behind the bulkhead where that big lake is now. And then the GLO is still working on bulkhead
Yeah.
rock
good.
revetment repairs further down. So the city's done their portion and the GLO has theirs left to do still. It's a slow process. Surf rescue, I kind of got into them already in the budget. They just had a phenomenal season, kept the beach super safe, lots of preventative action taken, fully staffed, very few issues. And so I can't thank Joey Farah, the manager, enough. He's doing a great job with the team. The head guards out there are all stellar. It was really cool to watch them compete in the regionals here in Port A, and then they took a team to nationals in California. And they placed third in small communities. And so, to have Port Aransas represented on a national scale with surf rescue is just really cool. So it's been fun to watch that program do so well. This number 5, that is going to be pushed probably until they're in their new station. Basically, they want to have titles that match up with the other first responder departments in the city. And so the thought there is when they get their new facility, they can change their titles. They put some stats there so that the calls that they responded to for the season. Busy. Those lost found persons are the scariest calls to listen to. It'll be like, there's a 4-year-old, they haven't been seen in 15 minutes, last seen in the water. And then these guys like scour the beach and find it. Like 60 times that happens. It's incredible. So not only are they responding to strokes and heart attacks and heat exhaustion and jellyfish stings and stingrays and
jellyfish.
I mean, it's everything, but it's also like
Even the stingrays.
they're helping EMS occasionally because we only have so many EMS and ambulance. And so they've just really rose to the occasion. They've been great. Youth programs had a great summer, lots of fun during summer camp. We've got Marlin Academy underway, after school care with clubs happening.
Did Is that still on the horizon for next summer about having PISD students
First dibs.
first dibs?
Yeah, we didn't discuss how
Okay.
exactly we're going to do it because I don't know that it would have changed much for this year, but I will keep it on the radar.
I mean, personally saw tons of, I mean, I saw lots of people go in that I'd never seen before in my life.
The thing is, they were staff family members, so it was either school staff or city staff related. I think we could go through the rosters together, but
I mean,
I,
PISD students are, getting a dip. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
well, we could talk about an early bird enrollment or something
how many
like that.
people will say, oh, it's the city staff? I'm like, well, there's other, I mean, they gotta go to work, I mean, I just feel like PISD.
Yeah,
Should
I get
have
it.
kind of,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
be filled up by 11:30 that day.
Yeah. I think early enrollment is totally possible. Okay, so day game club, line dancing club, there's gonna be fishing club, birding club. Are they doing elf club again for the holidays? Yeah. So we're trying to get their schedule synced up with the rest of our community programs. So when our enrollment opens for all the other programs is going to be when that next semester of clubs opens up. Traditionally, they've kind of gone on their own schedule, and I've asked them to kind of sync up with the rest of our program enrollment. So everybody's on the same page as far as deadlines and openings and things like that. Community programs. There was across the board a fee schedule update that's for facility rentals, for Marlin and camp fees, for program fees. So that's a good thing to familiarize yourself with. The newest one is on the city's website under the finance department. The fee schedule is there. That has surprised some people because they had been paying, maybe $200 for a week-long event at Roberts Point Park and now are paying $2,000. And so we were incredibly undercharging before, and now we're kind of charging fairly. And so it's given some people some sticker shock. We've inventoried all of our memorial benches and trees, so we have a better idea of what's available still and what has been spoken for. That was always kind of a fun who's where game when someone wanted a bench or something like that. So now we have a system for that. Fall programming is underway. Winter programming is planned. We've got the holiday activities. So, Christy, I should just make you do this. So this year, instead of the sea creature cutouts for the drive-through display, everybody's getting a Christmas tree, pine tree shape, and then they can decorate it however they want. So they can still decorate it in a coastal way, but it helps to have a simpler shape for mass production of wooden cutouts. They're $10 each, and they'll be on display throughout the holidays at Roberts Point Park. We're doing a movie in the park at Old Town Square. It's a Thanksgiving theme, November 21st, and it's being sponsored by Tortugas right across the street. So that's kind of a fun new partnership that we have going on.
What are we doing?
You're sponsoring a movie in the park. You paid for, well, Tortugas paid for the licensing to show the film publicly. Those are not cheap.
Mhm.
And then the fall activity guide is there. And I think that's my report, unless you guys have any questions.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you. I know it's a lot. I always feel like
No,
I'm
it's
just
good
rambling.
Information. For items for consideration, discuss and take action on discuss and take action on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board minutes from June 18th, 2025. I just call for, I can call for
Yeah,
motion,
motion to improve.
any motion to approve the minutes from the June 18th. I can entertain a motion.
All motion.
Just like,
Okay, that has passed. 5, board member comments and items for future consideration. Anybody have any comments, items for future consideration?
Why don't
We
we
kind of
put
put-
on equipment in the rec center, schedule of the rec
Rec
center,
center.
fees of the rec center,
Schedule.
and then you guys could, essentially what the discussion could be is something for council to reference
Okay.
later on,
Okay.
like the Parks Board is recommending to council that
Okay.
this be considered. And then
Okay.
they can go up, they can change it all if they want, or they can say, oh, they thought about this
Okay,
and,
so we'll put that on there.
okay.
And then do we need to put anything about the PISD students? Or,
I don't think so. I think it's just something we have to do in-house, like. It's tricky though. Logistically, it's like, if somebody is staying with a relative over the summer, they're gonna put their address in rec desk, and then I
Yeah.
have no way
and
other
there are-
than
we
going
have
through
we have
after the
lots of transfer
fact.
students. Not
Right.
lots,
Yeah,
but some.
so that's where
from
I'm
Padre and
kind of
Orange
stumbling
Pass.
a little, is that I'm not exactly sure
How to
how
do it in
it's
the
gonna
system.
work.
Besides,
See if they're a student though.
Well, I don't have access to PISD's enrollment. We'd have to like have
maybe
them
a
cross-reference it or something.
on the enrollment,
Are you a current?
Are you
current
current?
or next year enrolled? Yeah,
and if, I mean, are they currently or about to be enrolled in PISD?
yeah. And then this year we had some homeschool stuff that we hadn't seen before, so that was interesting. Let me workshop it with staff
Okay.
and I will give you an update at the next Parks Board meeting. Okay.
I guess that was a concern for some families that didn't get in, was like, how did
Yeah.
staff of the city get in when I was like on the computer early in the morning? That was brought up.
Mm,
Like it seemed a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think that they registered just like everybody else, so.
I
I
get-
think that they are obviously very aware that it's
I
competitive
mean,
and
I was on
so,
there, this was like early in the morning and it was full.
yeah, they may have waited it opens at midnight, so they may have been,
I was told 7 a.m.
okay.
and I'm telling you, in the morning it was full.
I think it's a midnight open.
Well, they need to let us know and I will set my alarm for next year.
Just make it 7 a.m. next.
I
But
did.
not.
I
We have
think it's a
kids.
software thing. All I
That's
know.
really crazy, you know, that's just not that's not realistic.
Yeah,
And again, it is like, there wasn't any city staff member that didn't get their kids in, and I think that was a perception that was very unsettling for some people.
that's understandable. Okay. I appreciate the feedback.
was it staff people that were residents or? You wouldn't know, huh?
Off the top of my head, I don't have the rosters in front of me. I think there was a situation where a niece was staying with someone for the summer, maybe. But I can't get into the specifics of each kid off the
Yeah.
top of my head.
there was never a time, the time Maggie didn't get really into, she got called like last minute
Yeah.
cancellations for a couple of weeks. So she did get into a couple, and the time that I dropped her off, every time that I dropped her off, I saw the kids going in, and I've never seen them before in my life.
Hmm.
So, and that was on more days than not.
Okay.
So I just that, I mean, that, so
I'll do a
Yeah.
little report on it. I'll go back and we'll look at how many
Did-
residents versus
just-
non-residents versus transfer.
About half.
half.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll do a little report and we'll workshop
Yeah.
how to improve for next summer. Before next summer.
Any other discussion or next time, future comments or item discussions? No? We had already set a meeting for, does that need to change?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. When is the next meeting? Do we put that in there somewhere?
It should be in the minutes that are in this thingy.
But, I think December 10th.
I think that you're right.
Yeah, it was like 10, 10,
December
10.
10th Should be our next. meeting.
Yep, so December 10th. Is our next meeting. At 2 o'clock, I believe, and if there's anything else, I will adjourn at 2:48. Is
Thank you, guys.
that it?
Second.
Laura's calling me.
Oh, okay, I need we need a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion that we adjourn.
I second.
Yep. All
All
right.
right,
we
thank
can
you
adjourn.
guys, literally right at this very moment.